Shalom WJC family. It's time for our weekly Torah Talk. This week we will be reading the very exciting, climactic Parshat Yitro. Having left the land of Egypt and slavery behind, we arrive at the mountain of God, Mount Sinai, to receive the Ten Commandments and have this ultimate apotheosis as a people. Right, we're going to witness God on the mountain and somehow create this covenantal relationship that is so crucial to what it means to be Jewish as a nation, as a people with God. And interestingly, the Parsha starts out with an encounter with Moshe's father-in-law, the Midianite high priest Yitro. And Yitro gives him some advice about how to manage the justice system, the judicial system, which isn't working so great. So a lesson in leadership. The next thing you know, we're at the mountain of God getting this revelation. And Rabbi Jonathan Sachs asks an interesting question. What does one have to do with the other? You can make a connection that this system of judges, Yitro suggests that we assign judges for every group of tens, 50s, hundreds, and thousands. An extraordinary idea, leaving by math 1 in 8 of the people in some sort of role of judge over another group of people. And this, what's the connection between that and the Torah? Well, these are the laws that they'd have to adjudicate. So we could say it's as simple as that, but Rabbi Sachs seems to be looking for something deeper. I remember a long time ago, many, many years ago, decades, being told by a rabbi that part of what makes Judaism a more believable religion, which, by the way, not language I would use today per se, but he said, in some religions you have one person, like the Buddha, who goes out into the desert and receives revelation. In others you have, maybe one person and their followers who experience these miracles and revelation. Think of, Jesus and his apostles. But in Judaism, the Jews leave Egypt with 600,000 people. Actually 600,000 men of fighting age. So if you have a woman for each of those men, that's 1.2 million. You add in children and the elderly, probably close to 2 million people camped around this mountain, and they all witness God appearing there on the mountain. That's an incredible, idea that everybody witnesses God, that no one's telling somebody what they saw, but the revelation was the people's very own revelation. And therefore, they have a special connection to God, each themselves, not through a leader, but each of them themselves. Now, look, I don't try and prove one religion over another religion. I think every connection to religion is an act of faith. It's something that happens in our heart and our heads and our neshamas and our spirits. So that particular argument was never so compelling to me. However, this idea that the revelation happened to the entire people as a cornerstone of what it means to be Jewish, that I think is very important. And that's what Rabbi Sachs points out in his essay, his commentary on this Parsha, is the connection between the judicial system that Yitro suggests and Moshe ultimately sets up, and this revelation at Sinai. That in this judicial system, it's incredible. A judge for every group of 10, every group of 50, every group of 100, every group of 1,000 means so many people are judges. That ultimately the people are responsible for running their own communities, right? You can't have it be that way, that this is a full-time job for these folks. This is part of people taking responsibility for their own community. And so too, by God giving this revelation, which ultimately the people, will say, we can't take anymore. You go listen for us, Moses. And Moses does. But to have that opportunity for direct revelation, for direct access to God, no matter who you are, whether you're a priest or a regular Israelite, a Kohen or a regular Israelite, whether you're a judge or not a judge, whether you're a prophet or even an everyday person. Every person in Israel, among the Jewish people, is in this case a prophet. And that is this great lesson from Sinai. It's an incredible democratization of religion. That's the word that Rabbi Sachs uses, and also one of the great ideas about Judaism, one that the rabbis kind of doubled down on after the destruction of the temple, is that religion doesn't have to be kept by just a few to protect the sacred light, but that in fact the idea of a faith can be to share that sacred light, to make everyone responsible for tending their own sacred light. And this idea of communal revelation, of democratization of responsibility for our relationship with God, our relationship with each other, for bringing holiness into the world, for improving the world for us and for everyone. That is everybody's responsibility, whatever your day job is. We all are responsible for our relationship with the divine and the holy in the world, and we're also responsible for making that connection with others and raising us all up together. This idea, the rabbis make even more prominent by giving us the idea of a synagogue, a Beit Knesset, where people can come and learn Torah themselves, right? You don't have to be a Kohen or the child of a Kohen to have special access to Jewish sources and religion. It's open to everyone. Rabbis themselves, by taking, anyone can become a rabbi, whatever their background. They don't have to have been born into a special family or a special status. Even as a child to have had the right quote-unquote education, that is something that you can get at any point in your life and have access to. And ultimately, I think Judaism teaches us that we should continue to learn and have access to. All of these measures were ways for the rabbis to further democratize Judaism. Now the question for us is, how do we take responsibility for our Jewish journey? How do we take responsibility for our community's relationship with God? That ultimately, that's what Judaism is asking us to do. That is the message of Sinai. Not that our relationship with God will be provided for us, but that we need to take control of our relationship with God. Not that a community's job is to provide spiritual experiences and knowledge and these kind of things, but we have to figure out how to help our community to better access spiritual experiences and Jewish knowledge. And as good a lesson as there is to take away from our reading of Parshat Yitro, from the revelation at Sinai and this conversation between Jethro and Moshe and Moses, is for us to ask ourselves, how does the revelation continue through me? How will I take more control of my Jewish journey, my family's Jewish journey, my community's Jewish journey? By engaging in Judaism in a new way, by coming to the Beit Knesset, by listening to Torah, by hearing Torah chanted, by learning Torah, by praying together, by doing community projects together to raise up others. All of it is an answer to the call that we read in this week's Torah portion. May we all rise up to the call that we hear as we stand. When we hear the Ten Commandments, when we hear the revelation, we read it in shul, we will stand up to receive that revelation. May we all stand up each and every day to bring more mitzvot into our lives, more blessings into the lives of others, and more holiness into the world. And may we all have that sense of revelation, of connection to God, of covenant each and every day. Wish you a Shabbat Shalom.